This is your one and only FireSpark81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Ark Mods Weekly. I got a lot of great mods for you as usual, so let's get to it. The first two mods we are going to take a look at today were both requested, so I figured why not? Let's do it. So as you see this giant huge structure over here, this is the first mod we are going to take a look at, and it is called Aviary Structures. So what do you got to do to make it? Well, let's look. First thing you're going to do is go into your Ingrams per the usual, and you are going to type in str. That's going to show you the structure workbench. You're going to need to learn the processing area first. I'll show you that one next. It's going to cost you 1 lumber, 1 coil of rope, 1 bushel of thatch, 1 bucket of paste, and 1 bag of cement. So how do you learn the processing area? Well, you go up here and you type in PRO, and that's going to show you the processing area. Right here it is: 5 metal ingots, 50 stone, 30 wood, and 20 hide. Once you have both of those done, you craft them up and you place them down. Now, everything you need inside of this station, everything that you're going to make, uses stuff that is processed in this station. And there we go with that double jump shenanigans. So once you're inside this station, you can see that there are no crafting recipes or anything like that. All you have to do is put gasoline in here, and then you just turn it on, and it will start processing all of the stuff that you put in there. You can see that it just processed more of the wood, and if we wait patiently, it'll just go through and process everything. It also processed the thatch and the fiber, and it has all of the recipes that you need right here. So 50 obsidian plus 75 ingots is going to turn into the plasteel. The plexiglass is going to be 50 crystal plus 20 silica. So you can see that it stopped processing right now, but if I go back and I add some more ingredients like so, it will start processing again, and you can see we are already getting the plexiglass, and we are getting the plasteel ingots as well as the bucket of paste. So all you do is you just load all of your resources in here and then wait patiently. Once you have all of your resources that you need, you can come over here and you can start crafting these different pieces. Now, like I said, it's a little wonky when it comes to building with this stuff, but that's only because it's very rigid on how it's supposed to be built. It has a very specific way to be built, and it doesn't allow you to, mess around or have any leeway with that. Let's just go jump into building one real quick. All right, so the first thing you need to place down is a foundation, and you have two options. You have this one here, which is what I used over there, that's for overhangs. So you can place it like this, and it will place part of it over the water like so. So you can see there that it's got a neat overhang feature. And then there is this one, which is just solid, and we'll move down this way a little bit, and you can place it like that, and you can see that it's solid and it goes all the way down and it goes through the ground. So those are your two options for your foundations, and you have to place a foundation first. Either one of those two, whichever one you choose, it doesn't make a difference. Then you have two types of walls, and you can see them right here. You have the huge wall, and then you just have the tall wall. Now, the easiest way to place these is you run around this thing, and you see how we don't see the hit points or anything like that? It's not until you come over here. The hit points are displayed right here. This is where you want to do all of your building from. Stuff will snap sometimes when you're at different positions, but I find that it works best if you're on the side where it has the hit points and displays the structure owner and all that. So you can see if we come all the way over here and I look at it over here, I don't get anything. But if I come over here, you can see that it's showing up again. So that's where you want to place the walls from. So all you have to do is just like you would any other wall, it immediately snaps on. So that is the huge wall, and then if we do that one, that's just your normal size wall. These do stack, so if I place the normal size wall like so, and then I can place the huge wall right on top of it like that without any issues whatsoever. Just make sure that you're standing at that area, and you can pick all of these up. So if we fly up to the top here and we very nimbly land on top of this, you can see that you do have the option to pick it up. So if you don't like the way your structure turned out, you can pick that stuff up. So we're going to pick those up, and I'm going to show you placing them on this other foundation. So if I stand right here, and this time we're going to place a huge wall like so, and then we're going to stand right back there and look up. Now you might have a little issue when placing two huge walls like this. You can see that it doesn't want to snap and it's being a little wonky, but if you're on a flying mount or you have the jetpack or whatever, you should be able to now stay on the same side where you see those hit points. You should be able to just fly up and get it to snap like you see there. And then if you want, you can continue with the smaller walls, or you can go ahead and cap it. And you can just stack the smaller walls as well. I'll show you that over here. So you can see it snapped right into place, and then same thing, just look up and it snaps right into place. Okay, now next comes your ceiling. That's the next thing you want to place, and I'm showing you the build order too. Like, don't get crazy with it. Don't build that and then start trying to throw floors in there or anything like that, because it just goes to heck. So build your walls, and then next you want to build your ceiling. So I have two different kinds of ceilings here. Now, and please note that there is a difference between the ceilings and the floors, and it tells you this is your lumber floor, and this is your ceiling plug. This is a ceiling, and this is also the glass dome ceiling, and then you also have the ceiling plug. And I'll demonstrate the plugs here in a second. Everything has holes in the center of it, and that's what the plugs are for. They are to plug the holes. So we have two different ceilings, and I'm going to demonstrate both of these at the same time. So once again, stay on this side where you see the hit points, and just going to fly up to the top, and we'll place the dome very easily. Same thing over here. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to place the flat ceiling in this one. And you can see that it wants to try to stick to the inside here, but you can tell it no. You just fly up to the top, and it'll automatically snap to the top where it's supposed to be. And if you click it, you can see there that it snapped without any problems. And we're going to fly up to this top floor. And there you go. Now you can see that it has a hole in the top of it, and the same with the dome, it has a hole in the top of it as well. Now that is where the plugs come into play, and we have two different plugs here. We have the solid one, and then we have the plexiglass. So if we line up, and once again, you can see that it worked, but if I come in from the side where we saw the hit points, so if I come in from this side right here, I have a better chance of it snapping easier. So there you go, and it snaps right into place. We have a nice solid top now. Now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to show you the same thing on this one. So once again, I'm pretty sure it was like right here is our side, and then we'll just hit 2, and you can see it snaps right into place. We have a nice, beautiful glass ceiling. All right, now the next thing you want to do is you want to go through and place your main doors. If you're going to do the big doors, you can do the little doors and the plugs right here. You can see that all the way around this thing, every 2 windows or every other window? Yeah, every other window is missing. You either have to put doors or plugs in those. So I'll show you that now. All right, so we have our extremely large entrances here on the front, and you're going to want to use the large doors for those. And if you just walk up to it with the side that is open, you can see the door will snap right into place. These doors can also just be snapped anywhere. They don't need a foundation or anything like that. You can see that it's green, and it just doesn't care. If I wanted to, I can place it right there, which is kind of cool. You can also pick those back up if you misplace them. So once you've done that, then you just want to fly up to the second floor, and it should snap right into place. And once again, you can see this is an example of it being wonky and not wanting to work. Now, I'm betting that it is probably due to the ceiling. So we're gonna go up here, we're gonna pick up that ceiling, and then we will place the door and then the ceiling after the fact. Yeah, there you can see that it just it snapped right in there without any problems. So you want to build the walls, then the doors, these large doors, then your ceilings. Sorry for that bit of misinformation there. Yeah, I built this quick the last time and was having a lot of problems with it. So remember, build order goes foundation, walls, large doors if you have them, and then the ceiling pieces. Now this one over here only has the small doors, so we shouldn't have any problems with that. I didn't have any issues with these small doors whatsoever. Now you have two options for those. You have the sliding windows and then you have the plugs. So if we hit that, you can see that the plug just fills that in. It's not a door, it's just glass, you can't get through it. If we come over here to this one, we can place one of the sliding doors, which looks like that, and you walk up to it and it opens for you. Now, as I stated before, there are there's only one type of flooring. There's flooring and then there's ceiling. And flooring is what you want to go on the insides that creates your different floors for you. And you can see that I have a piece of floor right here. So the flooring works pretty easy. Once again, stand on the side where you see the numbers and place it. You can see that it placed. That's what your floor looks like. And then we can do that again to place another one. And all you have to do is just stand back. You may have to fly up a little bit and play with it, but it will eventually snap into place. And there you can see when I reach the right level, it snapped. Now we have two floors. Now what you can do is there are plugs for these, or you can add an elevator. So let me show you how the elevator works. So real quick, before I show you the elevators, I want to show you that the ceiling plugs that we used up there can also be used in your floor. So you can see we just placed that. We have the glass floor. If I stand on it, I can pick it up. And then we can place the other option down and have the solid one as well. So that's how you can plug the floor if you don't want the elevator. Now, if you want the elevator, let's go over to this one and I will demonstrate the elevator. So to place the elevator, you need the elevator plug, and then you need the elevator itself, and then you also need the track for the elevator. So you're going to place the plug, and that's just going to give you this little rim around the outside, and then you want to place the track. Now the easiest way to do that is just run around the outside till you find the place where it snaps, and it will eventually snap, and then you can place the elevator. It will attach to the track like so. Now all you have to do after that is just build your track all the way to the top like you would any other elevator. And then when you get to the top up here, you can ride the elevator up now, but you're gonna have a gap. So what you have to do when you get to the top or your next floor and every floor thereafter is you need to place another one of those elevator plugs like we did down below. So you can just, you might have to run around or find that side again. But if you just walk around like that around the outside, it'll eventually snap into place for you. And then up here, we can do the same if we wanted to take this all the way to the roof, but I'm not going to do that. Just wanted to demonstrate that for you real quick and show you how that is done. Now we're back over here at the one that I have already built to show off. You can see that I click it, the doors open for me, and it takes me into my bottom floor here. And I have tons of room, and I've actually filled in all of those gaps with the sliding doors so I can enter anywhere I want. And then we have an elevator here, which I have two dinos on from our next mod that I'm going to show. And if I just look at it and hit the E button, it will take me all the way to the second floor. And then on the ceiling here, I have the final plug piece for the centers, which is the iris. And you can see that I set it to automatic. You can set all of these doors to automatically open and close. So you can have probably the best bet for the iris would be put it on the very tip top, so you can bring your flyers in through the top if you want. But that's it. I mean, I know this is called Aviary Structures, but to be honest, it's a beautiful setup to hold all of your dinos. It honestly should just be called Dino Barn or Dino Aviary. I mean, it works great, and you can see that there's plenty of room for larger dinos in here. The elevator, it works flawlessly to get up and down. I mean, it's a really, really great mod. The only suggestion I would make to the mod creator is allow this other stuff to clip so you don't have to build in such a specific order. I mean, that's the only real bugs that I saw was the whole building order. I mean, you got to be very specific. So if you're building and it doesn't work, disassemble stuff for a minute and go back and build in the order that I showed you in this video. Build your bottom first, your foundation, and then build your walls, then build your large doors, then add your ceilings, then add your flooring, and you shouldn't have any issues. Alright, so the next mod that I want to show off is called Additional Creatures, and that's exactly what it does. It adds a bunch of additional creatures to your Ark, as you can see here. Now, the mod creator states on the web or the mod page that he or she did not make these models, so I'd like to point that out so that there's no hate being spilled towards the mod author. Honestly, it's a really great mod, and I think it adds a lot of cool things. The creatures need a little refinement. I'll say that they need refined, like the little baby hippo here, mini hippo, dwarf hippo. Yeah, dwarf hippo. I'll spit it out eventually. You can see that he kind of floats. It's a floating hippo. The sounds for this guy are a little they're a little crazy, and they're a little too long and a little off. I mean, other than that, like it adds a ton of different dinos. I just have a small selection here. One of the other little bugs that I saw was this guy here is almost impossible to knock out or take down. You basically have to hit a very small part on his head. Not 100% sure exactly where that's at. I lit one of these up with everything I had and barely did anything to it. They are highly armored, and honestly, it needs nerfed down. I mean, they take 0 damage. If I shot him back here, he takes 0 damage, and that's kind of ridiculous. So, I mean, if I had to make a suggestion there, it would be to allow these guys to take, I mean, if you're going to have them take reduced damage, but it's kind of harsh right now. But there's a lot of cool features to these guys, like the giant giraffe that you see here. If we jump on him, he's got 3 different attacks. He's got a front kick, he's got a back kick, and he's got a head swipe. And the kicks do an insane amount of damage, and the back kick does a lot of torpor. I was knocking stuff out crazy with it. Really neat. The walrus, let's take these guys to the 2nd floor so we can get this guy in the water. He's really slow on land, but you can see that we get that buff from him, that temperature buff. But if we get into the water here, you can see that he's nice and speedy when he gets into the water, really fast. So, I mean, that's where he shines. Obviously, he's going to be slow on land, but he's very fast in the water. And he has like a little tusk attack. And this part's fun. A lot of these creatures have growls and roars and stuff, which I think is a very nice touch. So if we do this, that's freaking fantastic. I love that. nothing beats a walrus roar. So that's him. Then we have this here, the Megaraptor. I've left everything's name the same. I didn't rename anything. So if we take this guy out here, oh, he's really slow. Hold on one second. Let me drop some of this stuff. Okay, so if we take this guy out here, he can actually pick stuff up with the C button. So if we hit C, you can see that he grabs this guy in his jaws, and he's holding him, and then he can bite and attack it. And then you can hit C again to actually drop it, which is really neat. And now the walrus is going to kill him. So yeah, this is the Megaraptor, and he's got a neat growl. And that one's actually pretty good. That one's not bad. Some of these creatures are more refined than the others. This one I think is freaking fantastic. I love it. So I noticed his stamina doesn't go down very much. I mean, like I said, a lot of mod author asked for critiques or whatever, and that's my biggest critique. I noticed a lot of things have been added. I would honestly stop adding things for a while and just go through and refine all of these. That's the only thing I see they really need, is just a little bit of refinement. So if we hit K mode here and we zoom out a little bit, we take a nice run. It looks great. So let's go back in the K mode. We'll get this guy in the water. He is amphibious, and you know, get down in the water, get your hippo swim on. And then we have the what was this thing called? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. We have this giant beetle thing. Now this one's really neat, and the one thing that I saw that kind of bugged me the most about this one is this is his walk. Now this is his sprint. It's really not that much faster. I'd really like it if this was a lot faster. I mean, he's hovering, and I realize he's kind of a big bug, and like flying isn't really his thing, but he should move a lot faster. It doesn't really feel like you get much of a speed increase here when you do this, but his spacebar or his jump actually flies you up like that. Now you don't actually fly, you just jump, but you don't have any forward momentum, which is kind of a downer for me. I would like it if you got like a nice, like huge leap. Like if I was to hit spacebar and I just like jumped from one side of this river to the other, that would be amazing. Neat bug though, neat concept. I like the fact that he doesn't actually fly. I think that's a really cool concept, because you don't see that a lot. I mean, I haven't seen that before at all, and the devs don't really have anything like that. Like they have the mantis that has the actual leap, but it would be neat if this guy could actually like kind of semi-flew, you know what I mean? And then we have these two guys here that will be the last two that I show off. This guy has a crazy bleed effect when he bites stuff. So if we bite the monkey man, you can see that he's bleeding really bad, and he's super slow right now, so he can't really run. And you can keep attacking. This is one where the sounds are a little much in my opinion, but he's got a roar. He doesn't have any C. But then, you know, his normal bite attack, that's about all he's got. So that's it for that mod, and those creatures will just start spawning on your island. It's probably a good idea once you install the mod to do a dino wipe, and then they should show up. But a neat little mod, and I look forward to seeing what it becomes in the future. I like the fact that it adds a lot of new dinos, and there's more than what I'm showing you today, so download the mod and check it out. And last but not least, we have the turkey egg farm. I had to show this one because it's absolutely hilarious. So it makes turkeys that lay eggs, dino eggs, so you don't have to go out and hunt the dinos and tame them for the kibble. So if we go into our Ingrams and you type Turk, T-U-R-K, you'll see that you have the turkey barn, and that is going to cost you a whole 10 raw meat. And then you place it down after crafting it up, and it has a bunch of different turkeys, one for each dino, and they all cost the same. They're going to cost you 100 meat for whichever turkey that you want. So in order to craft it up, all you do is highlight over it and hit E, and it will craft up this for you. Then you're going to bring this over into your hotbar, and wherever you stand, and you can see that he just laid an Allosaurus egg for us. So that's it in action. So once you have this, I guess you could call it turkey in your, I mean, it's basically you have a turkey in your inventory. You hit 2 and you place it, it places underneath your feet. You'll pop up and there will be a turkey there, and this turkey will lay eggs of whatever you chose it to be. So, well, I don't remember what that one was, but it's gonna lay eggs for it. And this one here lays Allosaur eggs, and I don't remember what this one lays, but yeah, so that's it. That's all there is to it. So instead of keeping a ton of different dinos or going out and taming dinos just to get the eggs for them, you can just keep turkeys instead and have them lay the eggs for you. And they're smaller and they take up a lot less area. And I mean, they're just like any other dino. You can actually pick them up and you can place them They gain levels and all of that good stuff, but they just lay eggs that, you know, don't really belong to them. And that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Before I go, I want to give a quick shout out to my Firestarter crew. Thanks for hitting that notification bell and being the first to comment. Also to my Patreon supporters, thank you so much for all of your support. If you would like to help support this channel, please check out the link in the description below for my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy and you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and show your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.